Hello, Internet. Hello, YouTube. Um, I'm back with another One Piece review, review. Um, we're doing Volume 4 today. This volume has a special place in my heart. As I mentioned last time, uh, this is the first volume that I had to wait for to buy. Um, so the first three were already released, and I bought those, read them, and then this one I had to wait like a month or 2 months or however long to buy it, way back in the day. Um, so yeah, so and I really like this volume. Like I said, I've heard people say that they don't like the Syrup Village arc, but I really gotta disagree. I like it a lot. There are definitely some plot holes and some flaws and stuff like that, but I still love it. So yeah, so let's get started. So we got Mary. I think Mary showed up in the last issue, but yeah, he definitely did. But Mary is Kaya's other butler who looks like a sheep and who ends up giving the pirates the Straw Hats their first ship. Um, so we got Usopp trying to tell people that the pirates are coming. Kuro's crew they're about to attack the village and pillage the village and kill Kaya and take her estate. Um, but nobody believes him, of course. He goes to see Kaya, tries to let her know she doesn't believe him, slaps him across the face. I think that happens a little later, actually. But here we got Usopp using his slingshot for the first time. This is the first time he actually reveals his weapon because before that he had no he had no fights or any kind of combat. So, but this is the first time that he's like being a badass like in combat, basically like kind of fearless, kind of like doing his thing. It's funny because he's cowardly, but he's also kind of brave. Like that's what I like about Usopp. Like he's cowardly for comedic effect, but when the chips are down, he always comes through. Like he's always there to do what he needs to do. Um, so yeah, so we got that whole sequence. Nobody believes him. He's like, ah, shit. Maybe if my name wasn't Usopp. Um, so meets up with Zoro, Nami, and Luffy. Tells them all what's going down. They decide to team up. And I just love this concept how there's like the pathway, the cliff with the pathway, and there's like two cliffs, and there's like a hill that's like a pathway that leads to the village, and they have to protect that pathway so that the cruel pirates who are about to pillage the village can't come through. And that really resonated with me for some reason. I really like that they're like, okay, like we gotta just stand guard here, and we can't let them pass. I really like that idea for like a setup for a fight. I think that's a good concept. Then Kuro reveals to Mary, he crushes Kaya's gift, the glasses that she got him. Damn near kills Mary. Um, what happens here? Um, oh yeah, yeah. I thought that was a little eh. Upon rereading this part, I was like, it's a little. It wasn't too cool how at first they're in the wrong path. Like there's like Usopp is like, okay, this is the only way to the village, and the pirates have to come this way. So let's put up a pool of oil so that they can't come through. They'll slip and they won't be able to pass, and we can like keep them at bay. And then when it's dawn and they realize that nobody's coming, they're like, oh wait a second, there's another path. And I was like, that's dumb. You really didn't think about the other path at all. But I guess it made sense because he says that's where Kuro and Django were talking, so he thought that that's where they were gonna be. But anyway, um, Oh yeah, and this part was a little weird how they're like, okay, so now we have to get to the other path like really quick because they're here and we have no time to like set up a new plan. We have to like go and stop them right now. And so Usopp Nat Nami Nami gets caught in the oil and throws Zoro into like to like she like catches on to Zoro and ends up like kind of switching places with him, like throwing him in the oil so that she can get out of the oil. And then Zoro falls all the way to the bottom of the cliff to like delay his arrival at the big fight or whatever. Um, uh, Luffy goes straight north, and Usopp too, or at least Luffy thinks he's going straight north. And this is what I thought was a little strange because so Usopp gets there first to like confront the pirates, and Luffy loses his way. But that, as we all know, is a Zoro trait. Like Zoro's the one who has no sense of direction and who always is getting lost and has no idea how to like find his way anywhere. But in this case, it's actually Luffy. Once Zoro gets up the cliff, he actually gets to the where they need to go fairly quickly. Um, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, so yeah, so Usopp and Nami get there first. Luffy's lost. Zoro's at the bottom of the cliff. Um, so yeah, so then the fight starts. And pretty early on, Usopp gets kind of taken out. Not completely taken out, but he gets hit with this like metal, I mean, not metal, this like rock hammer that pirate has and just hits him in the back of the head. And it's a, Usopp is one of the characters that like, I mean, everybody in One Piece endures a lot of damage and like they get hit unrealistically, they get like injured unrealistically to the point where any normal human being would be dead, but they get back up and they continue to like persevere or whatever. But Usopp, you know, because Luffy kind of makes sense because he's made of rubber, but Usopp, he's just a guy, and not only is he just a guy, but he's one of the weaker members of the Straw Hats. But he still sustains tons of damage, and he still gets up like all the time. And I think that's a common thing that happens to him throughout the series. Like he gets like messed up all the time, and he's always just like, "I'm all right, I can do this." And he just gets back up. Um, so this is kind of the first time that happens. Uh, so yeah, so they fight, and I really like this fight a lot. The Straw Hats versus the Kuro Pirates. It's really fun. I think Django is a really cool character. Django is kind of OP, I was thinking, because he can just hypnotize anybody. So he can kind of just make anyone do whatever he wants. Um, I mean, they have to open their eyes, but besides that, as if they see his chakram that he uses to hypnotize people, then he's pretty much like super OP if you think about it. Like, could he hypnotize like Kaido or Akainu or something? I guess he could. Maybe not, actually. um, oh yeah, so then Zoro and Luffy show up. I just love One Piece. I love these characters. But I just think it's so weird how Zoro got there with no problem, and Luffy's the one who got lost. That's really strange. Um, oh yeah, I love this cover page. The like giant robot straw hats terrorizing the village. That's pretty awesome. Um, oh yeah, so Kuro's like, where is everybody? The fight continues. Um, Django hypnotizes the pirates to make them stronger and stuff like that. And then Luffy gets hypnotized too, and ends up doing the first Gatling gun, very first one. This is come on, like if only for this moment you have to give the Syrup Village art credit. Come on, it's the first Gatling gun. That's like one of his dopest moves ever. Um, that's cool. Then he goes and rips off the mast of the ship, but then he gets hypnotized. and then he's like out of commission for a while. Um, what else happens here? Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted to read this SBS answer by Oda because I thought it was a really interesting point. Because if you read One Piece, you know that characters rarely die. Like sometimes they die. Ace died. Who else? Monet died. I mean, there are definitely characters that die, that like get killed or whatever. But um, most of the characters, after they get like the living crap beat out of them, and you think, okay, a regular person would be dead, they don't die. They get up and they go go about their business after having been defeated. And apparently, somebody wrote in and asked, and they asked, they're like, why doesn't Luffy ever kill his enemies? I reread all the manga, and he didn't kill Moji, and he didn't kill Helmeppo or Captain Morgan, although Morgan was done in by Zoro. Why is that? And then Oda says, good question. First of all, Captain Morgan is still alive. He was captured by his former men and thrown in the brig. The reason Luffy doesn't kill is this. In his era, men live by their beliefs and risk their lives to defend them. Luffy shatters the beliefs of his enemies by defeating them. For them to suffer defeat and to have their beliefs destroyed is as bad as death. Killing their bodies is beside the point. I feel that as pirates, Luffy and his enemies care more about victory and defeat than they care about their lives. And I thought that was very well put. That pretty much answers that question. Um, oh yeah, wait, did I talk about that last time? I think I did. Anyway, um, oh yeah, so Kaya realizes that Usopp was telling the truth when she comes across the bloodied Mary who almost got killed by Crow. Um, what else? Oh yeah, the Meow Band brothers, which that's a weird name, but I mean they have crazy designs, that's for sure. But I really enjoyed the fight between them and Zoro, mainly because of Zoro, of course. But I thought they were decent bad guys. Um, yeah, take Zoro's swords. Oh yeah, this was a little pushing it, I thought. The Siam, I think is how you pronounce his name, or Siam, take Zoro's swords, or two of Zoro's swords, so he's only left with one, and he throws them away, and then Zoro's like, whatever, dude, I only need one, and like slashes him just like that. And if you look at that drawing, he looks like he got slashed pretty hard. If you look at this drawing too, it looks like he got cut up, cut open. But then the way what turns out is it was just his shirt, and that actually reminded me of. Well, I guess I should say when this happened, something similar happened in Dressrosa. It reminded me of this. There was an instance I think where was it Law who attacked Treble or Luffy? I forget. Somebody attacked Treble. I think it was Luffy, and and it was a similar idea where like he didn't get hit because it looked like he's so bulky with his clothes and stuff that it looked like he would get hit, but it was actually just going through his clothes, and that's what happened here. But if you look at this drawing, it's like okay, like that's a little pushing it. Like that's not exactly the pose he was in when he got slashed at the bottom there. I don't know if you could see right there, but anyway, kind of just got to roll with that. Um, so yeah, the fight keeps going. They're trying to stop them from climbing the cliff. Um, oh yeah, yeah, another pretty badass Zoro moment when he's fighting Bucci, the fat one, and Usopp's like, okay, this guy's clearly overwhelmed, so I'm gonna help him, and he shoots a lead bullet, and Zoro intentionally gets in the way of it. I thought that was badass, and the reason he did that was to protect them, so that the cat brothers didn't go after Nami and Usopp, who are like, you know, on their last leg as it is. Um, oh yeah, so then Nami decides to go get Zoro's swords. Kuro shows up. What in Neptune's name is going on? Um, so yeah, Kuro shows up. He's like, why are you guys late? Whatever. And then the Meow Band brothers are like, okay, we're late, but we're not gonna let you like be all crazy and kill us just because things aren't going to plan. And then Kuro's like, yeah, well, you are actually. And I thought, Kuro. I mean, just look at that panel. Like, how can you not think that's cool? That's just dope. He's like, he's just like ruthless. This panel, I mean, that one. He's like, he's got his weird gloves on. It's like Edward Scissorhands gloves, and he's got the blades right up against their necks. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Um, so then he's like, yeah, go get back to work. But then Zoro gets his swords back and does the first Toragari tiger hunt in the manga in the American version. God damn it, One Piece is so dope. Um, what else? Oh yeah, yeah. But he ends up not killing the fat one. And then Nami goes to wake up Luffy, wakes him up, and then Django throws the chakram at him. I just love this drawing here. I just love this whole sequence of him getting like hit with the chakram and then like not falling, like putting his foot down. And that panel where he like takes it out of his head. I just love that drawing so much. um, so yeah, so Luffy's back, and that means that asses are about to get kicked. So funny how early on he was like unstoppable. Like it was just like he would just own everybody he came across. Um, oh yeah, yeah, Kaya shows up. Um, oh yeah, how many of you knew this? Usopp preemptively realized his own dream. I'm a brave warrior of the sea. He says it right there, and arguably that's not a lie. So has Usopp realized his dream already before he even set out to sea? If he hasn't, if he didn't at this point, then he definitely has by this point in the manga. I would say. I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like they all have dreams. Luffy, Pirate King, obviously, was all the best swordsman in the world. But Usopp is just like, I want to be a brave warrior of the sea. And it's kind of like, okay, well, you kind of already are that, aren't you? It's kind of really is. Unless he means like to completely get rid of his cowardice entirely, which that would be kind of odd for Usopp. But maybe that will be Usopp by the end, which would be cool actually. Um, yeah, Kuroi, man, he's a ruthless bastard. Um, well, yeah. So then the fight with Luffy and Kuro begins, and then here we got the first cover chapter where it's like a mini story that they do in One Piece. Up until this point, they were just like illustrations, but now we get the side stories, and the first one is mini Buggy or Chibi Buggy or whatever. Um, oh yeah, yeah. The three kids show up. Usopp's crew. Zoro keeps fighting Bucci. And then Usopp tells his crew to go protect Kaya, and Django goes after him. And then you're left with Kuro and Bucci and versus Zoro and Luffy, and that's how the book ends. Damn, get my there we go. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I really like this book a lot. It was full of action, full of awesome art. Um, I just I like this Strip Village arc. What can I say? I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So yeah, so thanks for watching if you indeed did that. Um, so yeah, so I actually like read like 3 books of One Piece like yesterday just because I was in the mood to do so. So I'll be making more videos probably tomorrow and the day after. We'll see how it goes, but I have a lot of books to make videos of is my point. So uh, yeah, so hopefully that was entertaining somewhat, maybe not. Little um, I don't know, refresh your memory if you're a One Piece fan. So yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Join me next time. Peace out.